All right, Louisiana just passed a law to require schools in the classrooms to have the Ten Commandments placed in the classrooms. Now, that's all that's, as far as I know, written, but I would go further than that and require that the Ten Commandments be placed in courtrooms as well. What would be the penalties if a teacher failed to post the Ten Commandments in their classroom? How about some jail time? Or if a student vandalized the Ten Commandments in the classroom, what kind of punishment should they receive? It seems like Louisiana has gone out of their way to make national news for very oppressive laws, such as the Ten Commandments, blocking nudity on the website, castrating each other, requiring 25 feet to record a cop. They've really taken some big steps recently, and it's not something that I hope other states follow. I don't think that these string of new laws for the states are going to attract people from outside the states with even more ways to jail each other, more ways to torture each other, more ways to oppress each other. I mean, people have been fleeing that state for decades in various ways. But some people are brought back in other ways. They each have their own personal reasons. Myself, I visited Louisiana just as a exploration trip type of thing, just to see the state in my own capacity. But I got into a little criminal trouble with another series of their oppressiveness, and here I want to after over 2 years now of being persecuted by Natchitoches, I'm questioning other avenues of trying to deal with my criminal issue. And that deals with trials in absentia, as in being absent from your trial. Now, I asked ChatGPT if they could list all the states that hold trials in absentia, and it really can't. It just kind of said, let's see, what are trials in absentia? Where a defendant is tried and convicted without being physically present. It's generally rare in the United States, but they can occur under specific circumstances outlined by states and federal rules. Now, it's not entirely clear to me what the outlines are for Louisiana for being tried in absentia, but all states can default to the federal rules. All right, and they have Federal Rules of Criminal Procedure, Rule 43. And that rule is what states use as the foundation for their own trials in absentia. I don't think it's a matter of agreeing to holding a trial in absentia. That option is just there. A state can deny trials in absentia, and it could be a little tougher on it, I suppose. But the minimum is in the federal law. They have established trials in absentia on the federal basis because clearly the government has found a need for it. So they have the rules here. Rule 43 mandates a defendant must be present at various stages of the trial process, including the initial appearance, arraignment, plea, every trial stage, and sentencing. That's pretty much saying you need to be there the whole time. But there's exceptions to that. All right, they want you to be there, but there's exceptions. And they say voluntary absence. If the defendant initially present at the trial leaves after the trial has been commenced, disruptive behavior, if you're just making too much of a disruption. Misdemeanor cases, the court may allow a defendant to be absent with their written consent. Right to waive presence. The rule allows the defendant to waive their right to be present, but this waiver must be knowingly and voluntarily. So, I have this case in Natchitoches that's been going on over 2 years, and now I have a second trial for August. And I guess I could just tell them to try me while I'm not there. I mean, I already had at my first hearing now with Judge Barber, I already waived my presence there. What's to stop waiving my presence at my trial? Okay, it's just kind of following that pattern of decisions. Waive me from being at the first hearing and waive me at trial. And then I just kind of find out what my lawyer recollects from the scene. I mean, that's about all I think that's the best I could do, especially when I have a trial in August, and it's hot up north. I'm sweating in my car at night. I can't sleep, and I would die in Louisiana in that heat. I mean, it's amazing to me how the criminal law can be so tough down there, and it's the weather that really makes it tough. Yet they just get even harder on each other on a social level. Environmentally, it's hard to survive, but then socially on top of that, it could be that the environment really affects their way of thinking. They think, since the weather's harsh, we can be harsh to each other. And unlike California, since the weather is nice and stable and friendly, we can be friendly to each other. The weather might dictate a lot how people treat each other. So I'm questioning the trial in absentia, especially with Zoom. There's Zoom now, and I don't know how you could hold a trial in absentia with Zoom, because that's available. So I would first want to attend by Zoom, because they're talking about me, and I want to know what they're saying. But I mean, once again, I was denied Zoom at my first hearing as well. They would rather just deny me Zoom and do everything in absentia than allow Zoom, even though they have allowed Zoom in the past. It's such a secretive place that's just getting harder on each other more and more every day.